I don't care if it's at work or in life, your support staff is essential. You can be as good as you want at either, but if the people around you don't contribute and don't help and don't do their part and know their role, the entire operation falls apart. So it's essential that everybody in your support staff is on the same page, and that falls on you.
You are full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
Welcome to 86 Charles, with your hosts John Darby and Travis Spencer.
And with that, welcome to 86 Charles. Travis Spencer, how are you?
John, here's the problem with your whole thing. Like, what are you talking about your support staff? Who are these people? Who are these alleged people who are supporting you like bussers running around? You got back servers. Are you just on your little stupid pedestal always because you're 6'6"? You just think everybody below you is your support staff?
Are you done? No, everyone's not my support staff because I'm 6'6". That doesn't make any sense. No, and it's not just support staff at your job. It's your support staff in life.
All right, I can see that.
And the whole point being that it doesn't matter how good you are at your job or at life, you still depend on a support staff.
Right.
And that's not meant to be in your part of somebody else's support staff. So it's a circular thing. It's not meant to be downgrading to somebody. Because I like to think that I'm part of people's support staff.
So you brought up communication and how it's important between with your staff, with your team. It makes me think of that terrible fantasy football commissioner that just couldn't get his crap together and let everybody know what time. Like, that guy is terrible.
See? Lack of communication.
Terrible.
But sometimes you can't. It would be nice if people knew how to help all the time. But sometimes you literally have to tell people how to assist you. But you have to know a way to do that so you're not a jerk and they don't think that you're standing on some kind of pedestal.
And it's important that if are you actively looking to help others?
Of course. Because like I said, you're part of somebody else's support staff in life and in work.
My question for you is, do you have issues with your support staff bringing as much energy as you, bringing as much intensity as you do, bro?
In general, sure. My intensity is hard to match. That's well documented.
All right, I think that's all I had for you then. That was my big question about your support staff and bringing their equal partnership.
When R2-D2 speaks, I listen. I love Disney movies. Thank you, Walt.
Baller Shave Club is not real, and you should not go to ballershaveclub.com, but you should go to 86charles.com and click on Amazon so we can be balling for real. Thank you.
Nickel.
Nickel what? 5 topics currently trending. Travis, have you ever been on Periscope?
No, but I know what you're talking
about. You ever been on Periscope?
I'm not a Periscope.
You ever been on Periscope drunk?
Been drunk a lot of places. Probably without my knowledge, I've been on Periscope drunk.
So, a woman in Florida incriminated herself this weekend when she broadcast herself admittedly driving drunk through a central Florida city as she was broadcasting herself on a Periscope stream. While watching that, viewers decided to call 911 and report it. They tracked down her vehicle based on landmarks, and she apparently hit a curb as they were pulling her over. What a jackass.
Exactly. I was just going to say, how stupid do you have to be? That's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. One, it's bad enough if you're really drunk, you need to be at 10 and 2, or at least a little bit drunk. Be at 10 and 2. Like, to have a phone in your hand.
Broadcasting your stupidity.
It's so... I hate driving in the car with people who are just on their phone constantly.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me so uncomfortable. I want to freak out, you know?
Yeah, it's not a good situation. But I'm glad she got caught.
Yeah, totally. And there is hope that, we're using social media in the right ways rather than what if it was just people clowning on her and then they watch her die and then it becomes a meme after that. It's like.
Well, worse would be she hit somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And some poor bastard on his way home from work gets hit by some jackass doing a video.
All right. I've had enough
Indeed.
of this drunk periscope.
Moving on.
Let's move on. I've got bad news, John Derby. It's a definite sign of the apocalypse. Ooh. Playboy has decided to stop publishing images of nude women, ending the magazine's 62-year practice that made it a cultural icon. The magazine's decision was first announced in a New York Times article on the fashion magazine's upcoming redesign. The magazine will still feature women in a titillating fashion, according to Scott Flanders, the Playboy chief executive. The decision comes as it struggles with circulation decline that has hammered the overall magazine industry. Playboy, however, has not found the kind of online success as some of its peers. This really sucks.
Yeah, it's lame.
Why would they? I don't know why they do this. Like, if you're still doing it at this point, you're doing it for the art, because I think it can be done very artistically and it's a beautiful thing.
I think if they wanted to scale back the nudity, but still include some form of it, even if they just keep the centerfold, or if they just keep a monthly celebrity or something that they do, I don't understand why you're still going to publish Playboy and remove the nudity. That makes no sense. And
it's probably not going to change too much, but they decided to, or I'm sure it will. They'll scale it back, but it'll still be like topless, like really classy, and they'll maybe get. I mean, they get pretty big names.
Playboy does have legitimately good articles and segments and things like that.
It always has.
But everybody that grew up,
some of the greatest writers.
But everybody that grew up with Playboy still wants the nudity in Playboy, and everybody else that has Maxim and all these other things are going to stay with that. They're not going to all of a sudden start reading Playboy now because they took the titties out.
And it speaks of a higher class of individual, I think. Because even like
Playboy's an institution. Playboy. Can we go ahead and move on now?
We probably should have moved on a while ago, man.
Good.
I blame you.
Man, you should. In Bridgeport, Connecticut, a jury has ruled against a New York woman who sued her nephew for hugging her too hard. It happened on his 8th birthday. He's 12 now. It's been in court it's been in litigation for 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, 4 years this has been going on. The boy had gotten his first two-wheeler for his birthday and was joyfully riding the bright red bike around and around the home, according to testimony. When he spotted Jennifer Connell, which is his aunt, he dropped the new bicycle, exclaiming, "Auntie Jen, Auntie Jen." And this is a quote. "All of a sudden he was there in the air. I had to catch him and we tumbled onto the ground." Connell testified of her encounter with the 50-pound boy. "I remember him shouting, 'Auntie Jen, I love you,' and there he was flying at me." Although hurt, Connell said she didn't complain at the boy at the time. "It was his birthday party and I didn't want to upset him," she told the jury. But Connell continued, her life was turned upside down as a result of the injury. She said, "I live in Manhattan in a third-floor walk-up, so it has been very difficult," she said. "And there is damage the injury has done to Connell's social life." This is a quote. "I was at a party recently, and it was difficult to hold my hors d'oeuvre plate." Yeah, so she tried to sue for $127,000. Yep.
Wow. Like, how much money do you think these people are worth? It's disgusting.
I have no idea.
It's so disgusting.
This is insanity.
Like, they have to be just so rich and out of touch that this kid has a trust already worth millions of dollars, and she's like, "Oh, I see something I can go after."
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Talk about treating your support staff bad,
yeah.
Man. Talk about treating your support staff bad.
I can't even understand the basis of this. I don't even know how this gets to a courtroom. I don't know how this gets in front of a 6-member Superior Court jury.
It had to go to a Superior Court for somebody to do this.
That's what it says. That he was not liable. Yeah,
so
for him to be found not liable for his actions. Mercifully moving on.
People problems. I'm going to talk about former NBA star Lamar Odom. He was clinging to life on Tuesday night after he was found passed out and unable to breathe on the floor at a Nevada brothel. The owner told the Daily News. Odom, who had been partying with the women for days, had been using an herbal substitute for Viagra, though it was not immediately clear if this supplement affected his condition. Odom was staying at the Love Ranch Vegas in Crystal, Nevada, one of the establishments owned by famed brothel owner Dennis Hoff. One of the women saw Odom sleeping at 6 a.m., but things had changed when they checked in on him later that day. The 6'10" former hoopster was found still unconscious by 2 employees, Ryder Cherry and Madison. I love that they include the stripper names. That's my favorite part.
Strippers?
Shortly after 3 p.m. local time. Or, excuse me. Odom was vomiting, but with some kind of foam stuff coming out of his mouth. Hoff said, "This is serious," Hoff told the news. "He might not make it." Odom was taken to Desert View Hospital before being transported to Sunrise Hospital. He could not be flown to the hospital because of his stature. He couldn't even fit in the helicopter. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It wasn't because of the priapism from the 10 herbal Viagras that he took.
His whole body was so stiff they couldn't fit him in a helicopter.
God.
Odom, the Queens native, had been in the brothel since Saturday night.
And they found him Tuesday?
This article is on Tuesday. Yes. Correct. A source said he has been drinking during his stay, but not much. A bottle of cognac was still a third full. It was not clear if Odom, who had been in rehabilitation before, was using any drugs.
I mean, I shouldn't make jokes about it because they say he's clinging to life. But, man, what a fall this guy took.
He's beyond the level that you can't make fun of him because he's so ridiculous that you can make fun of him no matter what.
I guess because it's so I guess it's so far out of bounds that it is comical. But, wow, what a fall this guy has taken. There was at a time where he was legitimately one of the top 10, 15 most talented players in the NBA. I don't know if he ever matched. I don't know if he ever lived up to it. But just in terms of a skill set and a body type, sad. Ended very sad for Lamar.
Sorry, Lamar. Let's move on.
Henry McCarty, known in Wild West lore as Billy the Kid, lived a brief and violent life until his death in a gunfight at 21. He lived with a gun in his hand and sometimes a croquet mallet. In a surprising historical twist, the second photo of McCarty, also known as William Bonney, also known as Billy the Kid, ever to be authenticated shows him and his posse, the Regulators, mount up, playing the sport in New Mexico in 1878. The photo was among a pile of photos inside a cardboard box at a junk shop in Fresno, California, found by a collector in 2010. He paid $2 for the image, which is now estimated to be worth millions of dollars. The only other confirmed photo of Billy the Kid from 1880 sold for $2.3 million in 2011.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of money.
2 pictures of a guy, though. For someone who's pretty infamous, 2 pictures ever.
Right. That's pretty incredible. That makes you want to buy boxes of photos.
It does.
Go through.
Well, why do you think they have whole shows about storage wars and dumpster divers and all that crap?
Right, but the odds of that finder's so you might as well win the lottery.
That's incredible.
All right, you got anything else to say about Billy?
Well, even Billy had a support staff. He just called them the Regulators.
Nice.
So when you're out there in the world,
that's a good name.
Get your Regulators to mount up.
Pretty awesome name. It's a pretty awesome name for your support staff.
True that.
And I think I know what song we're going out to.
Do 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 do.
Regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Well, he started with a bank in Colorado. In the pocket of his vest, a Colt he hid. And his age and his size took the teller by surprise, and the word spread of Billy the Kid.
Jesse's favorite part of the show.
From last week.
Hello, folks.
Hearing a robot express its desire to love baseball again nearly brought me to tears. And I say nearly because I was all cried out from an emotional episode of Friends I just watched. Shit. Sorry. It was literally like sitting in a therapist's office and watching the therapist give Travis a doll and ask, Why don't you tell me about the doll's biggest regret in life? It was so haunting, and it inspired me, as a baseball fan, to try and bring Travis's robot, back to baseball. First of all, the records. Cal Ripken Jr. played in 2,632 consecutive games. That's amazing. The NFL record is held by Brett Favre at 297. That's less than 2 baseball seasons. What a league full of bitches, am I right? Secondly, unwritten rules. Nothing promotes healthier and more worthwhile dialogue amongst fans than whether or not someone followed a rule that some people follow and some people don't, and what the unofficial repercussions should be after official repercussions are handed down. It always makes me not want to kill someone. Third, movies. Baseball movies are far superior to football movies, unless you consider Drumline a football movie. But then reverse that unless if you're counting The Fan starring Wesley Snipes as a baseball movie. Fourth, but certainly not least, it's the only sport where 3/4 of the way through the game, there's a stadium-wide sing-along. And finally, fifth, there's a California law where you get a third strike and you're done. It's life in prison. You've struck out. If they modeled that rule after football, these felons would have the option to go for it on 4th down. And who knows, some of them might have a special 4th down play drawn up that there's absolutely no defense for, and then the downs reset, and it's 1st and 10 all over again. This is Jesse, and the sadness of Travis's robot was the most poignant part of last week's podcast, which made it my favorite part of last week's podcast.
Not a problem, my squad can't fix. Come on, cause we can do it in the mix. So when the suckers talk trash, you will get the bust ass. Cause you know we don't mess around. Cause when you talk that talk, lay you 6 feet under the ground. When you talk that, we lay you 6 feet under the ground.
It's time for the failed athlete perspective. Travis. Just for a change, let's start with football.
Whoa. You're throwing me off. Football. How about those Arizona Cardinals bringing it to the Detroit Lions?
Yeah.
Feels good to win like that.
Does it, though? It's like picking on the little kid in school.
Yeah, but it just, I've been through so many Cardinals games where I'm nervous, and then we blow it at the end. So it's always nice to get one where you're just like, oh, yeah, they ain't coming back.
They're getting on top of teams early, except for that St. Louis game.
But we've been through this. This was last year all over again. We look a lot better than we did last year, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't matter until we get to the playoffs with Carson Palmer. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
That's it. So I'm going to watch in fright, just waiting for him to get hurt. Anything especially impress you from this game?
I guess the efficiency of it, because that's a game that they definitely could have overlooked and maybe taken lightly, or let Detroit's frustration, let Detroit get extra pumped up because they've been frustrated and jobbed a little bit.
Yeah,
but
it's a home game. It's a late start in Detroit, so they should have brought. I didn't see the beginning of the game. I was on the road, but the end by the time I was there, it was like 28-7 or whatever.
No, I like that they took it seriously and took care of it quick.
I think the running game looks really good.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good three-headed monster.
Yeah,
it sucks for fantasy, but
that's fine.
They all three produced this week.
And you have to figure
really
Chris
care.
Johnson at some point, Father Time is going to catch up. I think he's caught a good streak, and I think that line's blocking well. But I have to imagine at some point Andre Ellington takes that starting job over again.
Well, yeah, he wants to keep Ellington fresh as long as possible. Who do you want in the playoffs? You want Ellington.
Sure, absolutely.
So let Chris Johnson get beat up during the year. Bring Johnson along slowly because he looks good, but like that last game, he'll have those lapses because he's a rookie.
Yeah.
So you got to control it. Arians is the man. I just believe in the Kangol. Have you gotten your Kangol yet?
No.
This is the week, man. If we get America to click through a few more Amazon.com or Amazon click-throughs at 86charles.com, we can both get Kangols,
That sounds pretty dope. What else did you like about this week?
Patriots, of course, look good. I think the most impressive team is definitely Cincinnati, man. Can't believe they came back.
I was so stoked that they did.
On Seattle.
To hell with Seattle.
Down 17? Down 17?
Yeah,
right?
down 17 in the fourth.
Yeah, they look good. And that's always been the thing with Cincinnati, right? Kind of like the Cardinals. They crumble when it comes down to it, down the wire, But Dalton looks like he might be a little better. We'll wait until the playoffs. He still hasn't won a playoff game, right?
Yeah, no, he has not won a playoff game. I still think if you have a quarterback who gets you to the playoffs every year, that's still better than most. I don't think that's a guy that you get rid of quickly.
Just that consistency of making the playoffs
for
every
sure
year is awesome. You know, when you go through a drought where you don't make the playoffs for 10+ years, that's brutal. It's brutal.
Right, because talk to the teams that don't make the playoffs, you're
really
like, I just want to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a chance. You know, give me even like last year with the Ryan Lindley game. Like, well, we got a chance. Who knows? Maybe the defense gets 2 turnovers. Maybe we win it. You know, but didn't happen. Anything else around the league you see, or you want to move on to a greater sport?
Let's move on.
Watching baseball again, John. It's exciting. These playoffs. You got the Cubs in there. You got the Astros in their new uniforms. The Astros should have never changed. All of baseball changed so.
Astros in their new division.
Era. Totally, everything. I mean, I kind of like the Astros as a National League team because I'm a National League guy. But the uniforms look good.
That's your hot baseball take, or the Astros' new uniform looks good?
I like the Royals are always fun to watch, but the Cubs, man, the Cubs are exciting when they're in the playoffs because ultimately I want to see them lose the World Series.
Yeah,
because I think that's the highest comedy. But you want them to get to the World Series to Game 7 and then lose.
Are the Astros Are the Astros the story
incredible.
of the American League?
Yeah, well, I think they were doing really well, and then they blew it, and then down the stretch they brought it back.
I feel like the National League is much more compelling this postseason.
Because the Yankees and the Red Sox?
No, not at all. But I just like I like that Dodgers Mets series. I like the Cubs winning. I think that's always entertaining.
I do want I don't know. I think I'd rather see the Mets win because I hate the Dodgers. I've always hated the Dodgers.
I don't hate the Dodgers. I think I would rather see. Yeah, I would rather see the Cubs win, and it's been too long. They got to get off the schneid.
Come on, what's the Dodgers' payroll like? Watching them lose in the first round is beautiful. They have like a $250 million payroll or something ridiculous.
I'm fine with major market teams spending major market money.
Yeah, but I like it when you spend major market money and you suck. Like the Yankees, Boston. Screw you all. Toronto has a good team. Toronto definitely spent a lot of money bringing guys in late in the season, but they have got an awesome team. They're going to be tough.
If nothing else, we can root for the Cubs because it was predicted in Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool thing. So it was Back to the Future 2, and they said the Cubs are going to beat who?
Miami.
That's the better prediction. Who knew that Miami was even going to have a damn baseball team? Incredible doc.
Robert Zemeckis knew?
Do you want to talk some fantasy football?
Fantasy
How'd you do this week?
I went 3-1 again. 3-1 again. I got smoked in the official 86 Charles League.
Because you're in the official 86 Charles League. Barnage killed me. Gary Barnage.
Yeah.
Someone else.
Big play Gary Barnage.
I do have him on one team, but
yeah.
Chris Johnson, nice game. Like we talked about the Arizona game, the running game being a disaster. Well, it's not a disaster. They're putting up numbers, but it's hard to rely on that in the future, you know?
Andre Ellington would have done nothing except for he had a 63-yard touchdown run. Otherwise, he did nothing. He had 3 carries, I think, total.
Always capable of that. So I'm thinking about dropping Peyton Manning, man. I think I'm done. I can pick up Andy Dalton for Peyton Manning. I mean, I might keep Peyton on my bench and drop someone else, but I kind of like my team.
I hear why you're saying it. I get it.
Am I going to regret it?
But I just don't. I don't want to be the guy who dropped Peyton Manning, someone scoops him up, and then he has him for those 4 or 5 games where he goes for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's got to have something left in the tank, and I just feel like that offense is going to get figured out a little bit better, and he's going to have at least a handful of games that are old Peyton Manning games.
I think I agree with you. I'm gonna hold on to Peyton. I'm not gonna drop him yet, but I can't start him anymore.
Well, who else do you have?
I'm gonna pick up Andy Dalton.
But do you not? Is Peyton the only quarterback you have right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hold on to Peyton. It's. You want to tell me you don't want to draft him next year? I'll get it, but this year I still think that he's got something left. And the closer we get to the end of the year, the more you kind of feel like he's got to have a couple games in him.
Now you said it right though. If it ends up that he crushes me, if I lose any thing in the last couple weeks because of him, that would be the worst thing ever. So I'd rather have him on my bench and, put Dalton in, who throws 10 picks, than that.
Oh, for sure.
John Derby, we got big news.
Oh, I'm sure.
Big news.
Lombardi is a bloody wanker.
Eric Bledsoe is the first recipient of the Teammate of the Month award. Guess what he got? Guess what his prize was?
Pair of socks.
Nope. Those are dope. The Suns' socks this year are going to be dope. But Eric Bledsoe got Robert Sarver's parking spot. Shazam, Parker. Sarver. Shazam's Parker.
Who is Robert Sarver?
The Suns' owner.
So Bledsoe gets his parking spot for being Teammate of the Month.
Parking in the owners. He's pimping. Pulling up. You get the owner's parking spot. It's pretty big.
I don't even know what to say about it. Is this... At least tell me every team in the league does this. And this isn't just some... the Suns have a board where you get a bunch of gold stars and then you get a parking spot and a pizza party.
Doesn't say anything about a pizza party in here. I'm sure Sarver probably broke him off a little more. It's probably like the spot, and then when you park there, you get a suitcase of money.
Yeah, I bet.
But Teammate of the Month,
they gave him a suitcase of money to play.
Eric Bledsoe, thank you so much for being a team guy, bringing this team together. Tyson Chandler, look out, man. I'm saying 7 spot. We're going to get the 7 spot. It's looking good.
No. All right, are we done with these Suns?
I'm afraid of America.
What in the fuck is 86 Chuck?
We're all made of 86charles.com, man.
Oh, you're such an ass.
Speak for yourself, idiot.
Let some more hate accumulate.
It's 2015. What the hell's going on, man?
It's scary.
Strange world we live in.
Yep. The Wizard's up to his old tricks.
Hey! Our boy got some rain.
There's so much going wrong in the world that I cannot be concerned with 2 dudes playing butt games. I don't care.
God is an American. God is an American.
It's time for the Facebook World News Update. This Real to Someone News Update is brought to you by Support. Sometimes you need an emotional bra. A man in Los Angeles said every night since he was a child he goes to sleep thinking about the same thing, being a superhero. He imagines scenarios, writes stories, and wonders what his life would be like. There is no point to this. He simply felt like sharing. A woman in Boston said this college kid is trying to use a credit card to pay his bus fare. You got student loans for days, and you stupid as a rock.
Support staff, we've got you covered with our effective teamwork and organizational management workshop. Support staff, we've got you covered with our
baseball again.
Almost single-handedly even the series.
We've got you covered with our
baseball again. Baseball again.
When you're greeting your guests at the door, we want to open the door for them whenever possible. Use professional language.
Welcome to 86 Charles.
Support staff.
In right center, if he hits one there, we can dance in the street. 2-1. Swung right left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Bree. There's the front of the
Welcome to 86 Charles.
A man in New York said, "Why do frats and sororities even exist still? What kind of middling nothing of a person could even want to be part of something like that?" A woman in Los Angeles said the weirdest part of organizing 20 pairs of hot pants is finding out she has 20 pairs of hot pants. A man in California said he's realizing the older he gets that he's becoming more cynical and annoyed by people. Maybe it's just him, but is it necessary to take a picture of your meal before consuming it? A man in Los Angeles said, "F the Kardashian clan. Turn off your water. Stupid trash." Water Wasters, Kim, Kylie, David Hasselhoff, Sterling, F all of you greedy celebrities. This Real to Someone news update is brought to you by Support. Sometimes you need an emotional bra. I've brought bread.
To men, women, and children.
I've brought water with lemon for the table.
I have hot tea.
Can I box that for you?
I'll bring your change.
Oh, there was this one time when I got a call from one of my daughters who said, "Oh, there's this girl in front of us. She said, Zac Efron's getting on the same plane as you are. She said, you're the luckiest girl ever." So my compadre and I were sitting in ops in the computer room at Airlines, if I can say that. And so we look at the passenger list, and sure enough, it's Zac Efron. And this guy is like super manly, the guy I'm working with, super manly. He became a cop, so he doesn't work there anymore, but he was so excited about Zac Efron being on our plane. So it's his turn. Alejandro is his name. We call him Chip because he was going to become a cop, and his last name was Estrada. So anyway, it was his turn to clean the plane. So he goes in the plane and he starts cleaning it. He goes to the very last 2 seats in the plane, and there Zac Efron had left the biggest mess of McDonald's French fries ever. And we knew it was him because his boarding pass was there strewn with the French fries as well. So I took the boarding pass home, and to this day, my daughter has it framed on her wall.
That was Deb's friend. Thank you. We appreciate the story.
Thanks. Great story. That was an awesome
It's our first celebrity story.
Oh, Zac Efron, you dirty douchebag.
Yeah, kind of a douche. Not shocked.
Let me tell you, life as an innkeeper, you get a lot of that.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of that. Get these fancy people. They look, all they do is take selfies of themselves. We had this trailer, like 6 girls. All they did all day was parade around in heels and bikinis and just take selfies of themselves and then, like, leave a mess. Like, these people are disgusting.
I'm like, part of that doesn't sound terrible.
It's nice the first time.
No, I'm sure.
The
novelty of that, I'm sure,
happen.
wears off quickly.
Yeah. You're like, what am I going to do?
I'm surprised you didn't make them horribly uncomfortable.
I do my best. I go for serial killer. I dress in a lot of black. Pop out of the dark. It's pretty fun. It is Halloween time.
Gotta entertain yourself. Now, if you were a celebrity, wouldn't you be more conscious? Thank you. More conscious of not leaving a mess and not doing stupid stuff like that because you know people are going to know you and they're going to want dirt or whatever on you?
You have to be. Like, what do you want? You want a TMZ story about that?
Right.
It's so dumb. You're going to hear about it. So, I mean, unless there's some kind of formula that you and your publicist have worked out that you need to sprinkle some of those things in to keep your popularity up.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the strategy. Yeah, we need to up.
That was the
idea,
right?
Zach, we need to up your street cred. Why don't you dishevel some fries in the back of a plane?
He's like Disney status, right? Isn't he? Does Efron do Disney status, or has he moved on from that?
And so he intentionally crumbles up his boarding pass so they know it was him?
Yeah, like you want to be cool, but you don't want to like break the law. Yeah, just thinking of Bieber, like that's how Bieber started.
That's
and
true.
Then he started
little punk,
get a little crazier.
So do we need to have Keyshawn Johnson come check Zac Efron about not being a litter bug?
I would want Keyshawn Johnson checking me.
Exactly.
Man.
Neither did Bieber.
You ever cleaned up any celebrity trash?
No. I would say every celebrity encounter I've had has been pretty positive. I can't think of a negative one off the top of my head. Britney Spears asking for eggs at the Olive Garden was the only one that was really weird. She wanted breakfast.
Pretty exciting.
And they were like, we don't cook eggs. But I think somebody went out and got eggs from a different restaurant and made her scrambled eggs or something.
Wow.
I think is how that happened.
That's the type of stuff that pisses you off. Didn't our buddy old Joe Corgan just post something about Anne Hathaway sending food back 4 times or something?
She had sent breakfast back 4 times. You know who's kind of a pain in the butt, but I think it's worth it, is Hugh Hefner. Brings his own food into the restaurant. All separately sealed in bags, and you can't cook it with other, like you have to cook it a very specific way, not with the other food. He's really kind of picky. But it's Hef. I mean, what are you going to say?
Creepy. Yeah. Who's just creepy is Donald Sterling, of course. Like, he's not that bad of a to wait on unless he touches you like he touched Jesse. He was touching Jesse's abdomen area. Just the idea that I had to be in the same building with Donald Sterling, like watching a Clippers game, really just
Did you hear he
pissed me
flipped
off
out in a
like
restaurant
that.
like a week ago?
No,
he was with some 20-year-old girl. You know the story. It's the same situation that we see him in our former work environment.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's with this girl. They started fighting, and he just started calling her the B word and just saying, "Get out of my life! Get out of my life! Get your stuff out of my house!" And they just kept going back and forth, super loud. Apparently, everyone in the dining room was just watching him, and he didn't care. He was just getting after it.
Screw that guy.
But it wasn't that far from our location. It's in the same kind of vicinity.
That's definitely. I hate Donald Sterling. Thank God for Adam Silver.
I mean,
just taking down evildoers one at a time. Dun dun dun! Adam Silver. All right. Well, let's say goodbye. John Derby, where can the people find us?
They can find us at 86charles.com.
86charles.com?
86charles.com.
I'd like to thank the people who are new to the site, who have been clicking Amazon for us. Thank you very much. Every little click helps. We prefer if you buy something, obviously, but even the clicks are nice because I see them. I'm watching your clicks. Yes, I'm watching your clicks.
Do you think that makes people excited to know that you're watching their clicks?
I had to get as creepy and reptilian as I could. I can't really go reptilian because I'm obviously purebred human.
As human as they get.
But you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Company Blaster. There's other places. iTunes. Subscribe, please.
Stitcher.
Comment. Tell us what you think of the show. Stitcher. Pod Directory. We're everywhere. We're everywhere, John Derby.
In your heart, and in your mind, and in your fondest of dreams.
That was really
Those are
beautiful.
all the places you can find 86 Charles.
I don't know if I can say anything beyond that.
And we wouldn't be 86 Charles without what, Travis?
A support staff.
Man, you nailed it. You're not one for cues, but you caught that one.
Well, at least it wasn't. If it was a saying, I would have.
No, I know you. Trust me, I'm aware of the weaknesses in your repertoire.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we want to give.
That's about it. I think we're done.
We got to give shout outs. Always, thank you, Jesse.
Okay. Jesse, of course.
Thank you, Joe Corrigan.
We'd like to
thank Deb.
Thanks, Deb. Thanks, America.
Oh, America. Thank you so much. How about Parts Beyond?
Parts Beyond.
America.
I'm picky and choosy.
Thank you, but maybe not as much. How about that?
Nah, I'm a world traveler. I love the world. I've been to Mexico. It's pretty
Bienvenido.
Cool. It's pretty sad. I gotta learn it. I gotta make some money. I need people to click through Amazon so I can travel.
Click through it. Hey,
I've traveled with Anthony Bourdain and the layover.
Business cards and Kangles first, and then you can take a trip.
Man, business cards and Kangles. That's the name of a dope hip hop group.
We drop a lot of knowledge on this show, and that's just part of it.
That's what I do. That's what I do, America. Thank you. We love you. Go out and give your support staff a shout out. You know, they need to know. They need to know that you love and respect them.
America, keep your staff supported.
New boy in the neighborhood. He lives downstairs.